Can you see my PPT? Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, thank you again. I'm going to provide you, very general overview of carbon dynamics of bamboo. Knowing bamboo so many years, working in so many countries, working with so many types of bamboo, I think it's not that easy plant. It's very interesting, super plant for me. I also like to acknowledge, a few references I took lots of information and data from. And recently there is a policy brief published by, INBAR. I think there are lots of useful information for bamboo and carbon. I will not be speaking about standards and trade. Probably our colleagues from Gold Standard and other colleagues also will touch upon that. But I will basically speaking bamboo and its dynamics in terms of management and into carbon. Not to repeat, you all know you are all bamboo lovers. We have so many species of bamboos, and now.
Sam, just enlarge your PPT.
Yeah, so you can see the introduction.
Enlarge the PPT.
What happened?
Make it full screen. Make it full screen.
Full screen. Okay. I will do that. I think I need some technological help in computer also. So now it's full screen.
Not yet. No.
It's coming. Probably it's a little bit slow computer, but probably it will come. I have done that. Okay.
Yeah, it's come.
Okay, yes, we have more than 35 million hectares of bamboo, and fortunately, the area is increasing. Basically, because of now there are many stakeholders, many countries they are interested in restoration project using bamboos, and there are lots of awareness raised last 20, 30 years on bamboos. People are now getting more interested, and they know the value of bamboo also. And recently, INBAR also put the target to restore 5.7 million hectares degraded land with bamboo, with member states, in collaboration with member states. So there is a significant potential for reducing greenhouse gases, through this plant. And bamboo contributes significantly many areas of the sustainable developments, poverty alleviations, energies, also resilient cities, sustainable production and conservation of the resources, climate change mitigation, even adaptations. I have been using that, in my projects. Sustainable management and uses of natural resources, including forests. And while talking about carbon stock of bamboo, probably you have read so many data, so many information. There are sporadic researches everywhere, and specific to location, specific to species. And for example, Yiping, in their research they did in China a few years back, they mentioned that most of bamboo's carbon stock could vary from 100 to 300 ton carbon per hectares. And another study suggests that, depending on species, it could be 94 to 392 total carbon forest carbon ecosystem of the bamboo forest. And if you compare with the natural forest of other forest, it could be 126 to 699 in natural forest, and it could be 85 to 429 in planted forest. Why is that? It's because bamboo is versatile. It's a dynamics. There are so many types of and species of bamboo. There are monopodal bamboo. There are simple bamboo. Their characters are different. Their the growth and other characteristics are different. There are so many varieties of bamboo. Like this Fargaceae species, Panda species, is shrub, less than 5 centimeters of diameter, to the giant bamboo. This is asper from Laos. Is me. So it could be Godwa, Asper, and the giant bamboos are there. So there are so many varieties of bamboos. So one standard would not work. There are mixed forest of bamboo, which could be less than 25% of the bamboo. There could be a pure bamboo forest, like in the right-hand side. This is a bamboo forest in Bali Mountain in Ethiopia. It's a highland bamboo. And another aspect, very important aspect, is there could be a managed bamboo and unmanaged bamboo. That also makes significant difference. So total carbon based on life cycle, when you consider, the species, type, management, rotation age, past harvesting of the storage of the carbon of the harvested bamboo, the dynamics are. And I just wanted to give a small example. Let's say we have a bamboo forest with a 200-ton carbon of total ecosystem carbon per hectares. Every year, if you manage a bamboo, you can have 20 to 30% new comes per year. You get the new shoots. If you manage the shoot, you will have a new bamboo comes. And every year, you can even harvest 20 to 30% come, which is about 40 ton. If you divide, it's like 20% of the 200 is 40%, 40 ton, which is about 80 ton of biomass. If you double it, biomass is generally double of the carbon contents. Then if you use it for the permanent use, like housing or furniture, in a long-term use, you can store this annual harvest to some permanent use. So this life cycle dynamics is very different because unlike trees, like typical the forest, the carbon project is 30 years. In that 30 years, you can have 5, 6 rotation of bamboo. You can harvest bamboo in 5 years. As I said before, average carbon stock of bamboo forest is 200 ton per hectare. It could be a little bit less or more depending on species and type of forest. If you have a 5-year rotations with 20% of selective harvestings, which is 40 ton carbon per year or 80 ton biomass, you can have in 30 years 1,200 total carbon you can actually harvest and store somewhere. Plus, you can have base carbon, total ecosystem carbon 200, which is equivalent to 1,400. So this dynamic is there. We sometimes just do the absolute calculation. However, the total carbon in 30 years could be 1,400, but there are emissions from transportation, processing, and other leakage. We have to consider that. That is management aspects also. We can improve that. We can have improved efficiency in the processing, harvesting, all those things, and you can reduce the emission from there also. So active bamboo management and long-term use are crucial to maximize carbon benefits. That's why I would always focus not only carbon. If you just keep the carbon in the forest for 30 years, you will have a base carbon there, and you will not have harvesting, you will not have non-carbon benefits. So it's very important you manage bamboo. You have a benefit from carbons, and also you have benefit from non-carbon from biomass. For that, you need to have a proactive, intensive management of the bamboos. However, the challenges, there are many challenges on the carbon assessment itself. Although it has a potential for reducing the greenhouse gases, but the methodologies are not there yet, for the quantifying bamboo because of this dynamics of the bamboos. Although China has standards and they have done for most of bamboos, I will come back to that. Bamboo itself, because hollow and there is the correlation between the biomass and diameter height is not that straightforward. It generally depends on the age and wall thickness, the hollow of the bamboos, the size of the hollows, and other site conditions. And when you manage the clumpy bamboo, if you are not managed, it's very difficult to do any kind of inventories, and measure and estimate the biomass. Generally, I would suggest very, very simple matrix, like there are 1,600 type of bamboo, species of bamboo. If you can categorize that 1,600 species in different diameter categories, like more than 10 centimeter diameters, more than 20 meter height, 5 to 10 centimeter height, less than 20 meter, like that. If you do that for the mixed stand and pure stand, you need some resource for that. It could simplify the process. There are such things available for trees, not for bamboo. I think this is very important. I think recently there is a UBC. In UBC, they also announced the PhD position for bamboo carbon. Maybe some of you, if you are interested, you can apply also. And as I said before, if you want to trade carbon, either you go through voluntary market or there is a National Red Plus programs where you can get the result-based payments. For voluntary market, you need to have standards. There are, of course, standard for forest, and by Gold and BCS and many other standard agencies. but we probably need to adapt this dynamics of bamboo in the forests. And we need to consider those, the rotation age and species and varieties and everything. China has already, as I said before, developed and ratified the methodology for carbon ships through bamboo afforestation projects and bamboo forest management projects. And for monopodial bamboo, this could be useful to adapt. And recently, actually, in Bar, we had a task force. I was also in a task force member. We prepared the bamboo management standards. I understand that there are already standards available for Godwa. Eco-Planet Bamboo already did even FSC certification, but this is more on covering both sympodial and monopodial bamboos. It has 22 principle, 40 criteria, and 133 indicators actually. And one of the criterion is about bamboo for climate change mitigation and adaptations. There are few indicators basically focusing on bamboo forest inventories and assessment of the carbon. This is in the draft form. I am also one of the contributors. I think this will be useful when you develop a carbon standard as well. And fortunately, FAO has also provided the definitions for bamboo, like for natural forest, if more than 5.5 hectares, you can consider as a bamboo. In the agroforestry system, you need to have more than quarter hectare, 0.25, or at least 50% of the total biomass there. And in terms of percentage, you should have more than 10% ground coverage. This is the definition. Probably it will be useful for the standard as well. I just wanted to briefly mention about one initiative that I and Julia Wasman, we established a couple of years ago. It's registered in Hong Kong. We just use very simple method to promote bamboo plantations in developing countries. We are currently working in Nepal and Sri Lanka. We have a couple of projects in Nepal and one new project in Sri Lanka. What we are doing, as I said before, we just use very simple methods, because if you have a smaller size project development, verification, it costs lots of money and time, and probably communities who grow bamboo, they may not get the enough incentives they are supposed to. So based on that 40 ton per year average calculations, we provide per hectare $1,000, which is 5 years. Bamboo can be mature in 5 years and you can start harvesting. We just provide for the first 5 years, and after that we hope that they can manage the bamboo and get the incentive from the harvestings, that 80 ton per year. So this is how we are promoting. This is not typical carbon project, but this is a very simplified voluntary mechanisms. We are just collecting some money in business people in Hong Kong and supporting some local communities in Nepal and Sri Lanka. Well, this is what I wanted to briefly highlight, and if you have any questions, you can also ask me. Thank you very much.